Amanda, light of my life. Amanda Nunes. Just reading about her. Now, I do not pass judgment. The mind of a genius, you've heard the expression, there's a fine line between genius and insanity. There's a lot of truth to that. And to get to the top, you are wired differently. When the athletes speak or when they go on to write books, when they go talk to kids and tell them what you must do, it's very fascinating to hear the real greats because there's always something different. You always sit back, what, that's part of it? I had no idea. Well, yeah, that's why you didn't get there. Greats are all wired differently. Amanda, right after losing her fight to Jules, left American Top Team. Going to open up her own private space. I had the question back then, had she won the fight, would have she done that? Would have she still left? Was this a business plan that she had in mind? And it was just a matter of, look, the lease came in and it was 2 weeks after the fight and I got my financing in place and my equipment's coming. Was it one of those situations? This was inevitable, or was it because she lost the fight? Been wanting to know. I've been wanting to know because it's a very big deal. If you get to the championship, not to mention you're a dominant champion with absolutely every box checked. Can you grapple? Can you punch? Do you have defense? How's your conditioning? How's your nutrition? You make the weight. If every box is checked, it would seem as though you want to stay with those people. She left. Now, I still don't know that I have a clear answer on this, but she did shed a little bit more light. She was talking about her gym. She said, this is something I've always wanted to do. Now, I'm still left at, even though I know it's something she always wanted to do, I'm still left with my same question of, were you going to do it anyway? Were you going to do it? Because as we look to rematches, we must always wonder what's going to be different now. And if you're fighting somebody that is not doing what they were doing before, generally speaking, it does not work out very well. Generally, I could offer you plenty of examples where it has. But one thing that happens to champions when they go open their own gym is they don't have a boss. All the greats have a boss. Mayweather, Tiger, Serena, Simone, they all have somebody telling them what to do. If you don't have a coach, you're in a very tough spot. So when Amanda's leaving this gym and she's going to be writing the checks, so she has somebody that's going to come in there and big sister her, tell her, this is what you're doing and this is when we're doing it. Get your ass back out here. What are you doing showing up 10 minutes late? It's in one of those situations. Generally speaking, it's not. Once you're writing the check, we're going to do it your way. And generally speaking, becoming the owner of a gym is the first step in the wrong direction. I'm just trying to guess. This is between Amanda and Jules. But I would like to guess. I think it's going to be a very big fight. Now we're going to be treated to the Ultimate Fighter. We're going to see them interacting. I'm just curious. I got to know everything. So Amanda started weighing in, and she did say, if I would have had a louder voice, I knew I should not have fought that night. I knew I was not at 100%. If I would have had somebody I respected make that decision for me, I think I would have listened. I knew I shouldn't be out there. Now, I got to stop you right there. I appreciate the candidness from somebody as successful as Amanda that we can all learn from. But I do have to stop you right there. This sport and this business and these championships are 100% predicated on, can you beat that person at this specific time? It is not about who's better. It is not about who's faster. It is not about whose parents love them more. That is what analysts like me come out and make it about because we need to talk. This is about, can you beat them on this day? I don't give a goddamn how you feel. On this day, can you beat them? And if she's saying, I wouldn't have even shown up, then we have our answer. Because I also believe you don't have to do the fight. If one side waves a white flag and says, I'm not tough enough to walk out there, we have our answer. I do not believe if you're out with an injury that you should be able to remain in the rankings. Now, I never voice that because it sounds very cold by me. And I don't want to be cold, particularly somebody who's healing. But if we have an athlete who's openly saying, I cannot prepare, I cannot license, I cannot make weight, I can't even walk to the octagon, we need to listen to them. And they got to be pulled out of the rankings. They can come back in. But if you have somebody who's missing fights for any reason, we still have our answer to the audience. I don't give a damn if Julianna Peña is better than Amanda Nunes. I want to know if Julianna Peña can beat Amanda Nunes on this time under these rules at this weight class. That's it. DraftKings, who's carrying action on this, they don't give a goddamn who's better. Who can have more points when time runs out in this situation? And every other sport's ran that way except this one. I get why we can't have a forfeiture clause in real life. Theoretically speaking, I believe there should be. I came up through dual meets in high school wrestling. If the other side doesn't step on the mat for any reason, we don't need to know what it is. We don't bring heart and kindness and sympathy into it. You step on the mat, you have the right to get your points. You don't take to the mat. It's a forfeit. This team gets 6 points. That's the way sports are played. The Super Bowl for next year is already booked. The Olympic Games for 2024 are already booked. That's up to you whether you want to show up or not. Somebody will be crowned and recognized and remembered through history as the champion, as will the second place and as will the third place. That's the way these are played. So if Amanda or anybody else comes out and says, I wasn't 100%, first, I'd be stunned. If you ever were 100% going into a fist fight, you got to tell me what you did, because I sure never felt that way. I wouldn't even know I would not even know what that feeling is like to feel perfect. I have no idea. Have not felt it since I was 9 years old. And I'm not just personalizing with me. I want to know, and I want to know how you got there. How many days did you rest? How were you in shape if you were resting? How were you sleeping? How did you get to sleep knowing the stresses of this fight was coming up? Like, you got to tell me everything. I'll listen to every word. I'll shut my mouth and just sit there and listen if you have a way to feel 100%. But the other thing is with Amanda's history, Amanda has pulled out of fights before. If Amanda would have pulled out against Jules, it wouldn't have been the world's biggest shocker. It wasn't a main event from Jump Street. It wasn't a fight that anybody was that interested in Jump Street because Julianna was like a 7-1 underdog. Turned out to be something very beautiful when it was over, but the night that it happened, it wasn't even the feature match. And I only bring that to you because Amanda's pulled out before. I'm not picking on her. Amanda's the greatest of all time. I also know Amanda. She is a wonderful human being. I am definitely not picking on her. I'm trying to get into the mind. Because these are very different shoes. We've never seen Amanda in this. We know Amanda's great. Amanda happens to be the champion of the world. Don't ever forget that. Right now, sitting, reigning champion of the world. Amanda's great. Anytime you're doing something different, though, you must prove to the world and to yourself that you can. If you generally fight with 2 good arms and you got a broken arm, you've now got to prove that you can figure it out. If everything is going your way and people are telling you how great you are, and for the first time ever, they're not, and you're questioning yourself, you have to know how you're going to respond. Amanda doesn't know, because Amanda's never been in this spot. Amanda's never been tapped out, and Amanda never got exhausted inside of 7 minutes. Amanda never got defeated in a fight that she was winning. There was only 1 round completed, and it went, all 3 judges gave it to Amanda 10-9. So I'm just sharing with you, Amanda's never been in this spot, and now she's going to do it with a new team. I would also, as much as I've just made the case that I don't love that, I will quickly concede that nobody knows the athlete better than the athlete. This is a world champion here. There are people she respects. There are people she looks up to. If they walk in the room, and as long as that's the people that she does have, then everything I just said goes out the window. If there's still somebody steering the ship, if it becomes her ship, we got a problem. Guys, this was just tested with Figueiredo. Figueiredo beats Moreno, or leaves with his belt. Was it a draw? Then he goes out and gets destroyed by Moreno. Doesn't win a single round. It's day and night, and Figueiredo said, yeah, here's what happened. I went and opened my own gym. I'm trying to clean the place. I'm trying to staff this place. I'm trying to sign up new members. I wasn't getting my own training, and that's very real. That might sound like an excuse, but it's also a reason. He got on an airplane, left that goddamn gym, went out to Arizona under Henry Cejudo, somebody that he would listen to, who could get up his ass when he didn't feel like moving forward, got his belt back. It's a very real thing. I could not possibly care less that Amanda didn't feel the night that Julianna beat her. And I can't take any way away from Julianna. And without even having Julianna here to defend herself, I can guarantee you Julianna didn't feel her best either. Nobody does. And this is such a weak sport. It's such an easy sport. You want to know a tough sport? Come up through the wrestling circuit. You get to the finals of a wrestling tournament where the 2 guys that are stepping out there had to go through 4 other men in one day to get, they got ice here. They got a bandit. They got a knee sleeve over here. They got their ankles taped. They got something casted on their ear. All their fingers are taped up. That's what you look like. You go through battle 4 times in a day, and you still walk out there because it's your turn, and this is a chance at glory that you want. Then you get these prima donna, oh, I didn't feel good. What? This guy took on 4 men today. You just woke up in a luxury hotel room with the AC running and somebody bringing you breakfast in bed. Well, you don't feel good. I don't care.